Hey guys, Joe here, and I had shot another video for today talking about my mental illnesses, and that will go up as soon as I film it again because I watched it back, and when I describe my most prevalent or dominant psychopathy, it always makes me sound bad, so I'm trying to find a better way to say it. I may just publish it the way it is just so that you guys can see my brain process, but it also led me to want to talk about my brain, my individual brain, and the way my brain works. And everybody's is slightly different. You know, everybody has a brain, hopefully, unless you're a politician. But as our brains are all different, your experiences may differ from mine. You may see similarities, you may see a lot of very differences. And you'll also have to forgive me if I go off track and I just all of a sudden pop back in. That is because I'm currently in a 12 pill migraine right now. I've taken 6,000 milligrams of Excedrin, which is mostly acetaminophen and caffeine, to try to take the edge off of the migraine. I threw up and I had to get up and I had to go get some aspirin. It's just the way it is. Anyway, as the title suggests, I probably have some sort of brain damage. And it's not just because of the way I was raised or things I've done. I don't drink anymore. I should make a video about that. I don't smoke. I don't do recreational drugs. Damn that cocaine. And I don't do a lot of things that would be commonly associated with dinging the old brainster. But I do have a lot of history with hitting my head. Probably a lot of stupid stuff like painting without wearing a mask, things like that. But in terms of things I know have been possible issues, even back when I was a kid. When I was a kid in the early 80s, helmets weren't required for children. They were suggested, but they weren't required. I didn't wear elbow pads, I didn't wear knee pads, I didn't wear a helmet, and we used to go and ride BMX, and I used to crash out a lot. There were times where, you know, I'd come home and my elbows would be all bloody because I fell off my bike, and, you know, my back would be scraped up. But that's what you do when you're a kid of the 80s. You try to destroy yourself. That was Darwinism, you know. Or wait, Darwinism is evolution, isn't it? Well, whatever. Survival of the fittest. I think that's Darwinism. If my brain didn't hurt so much, I could think better. I thought it was Tuesday all day. It's Wednesday. But that's not all I used to do. I used to like to climb trees. Me and my buddy used to go and climb trees a lot, and I've had some bad incidents. Climbed a tree that wasn't able to support my weight, right onto my head. BMX racing, onto my head. I remember we were going down a hill. I was always smaller than my friends, itty bitty guy, and I still tried to keep up with everybody. So everybody's riding their BMX bikes down these hills that have big ruts taken out of them, so you have these jumps. I don't know what I'm doing. I come flying down the thing, smash into a basketball court with my head. And that was just what you did when you were a kid, you know? If you were dumb, you were dumb. You did it to yourself. But then, you know, you moved into the 90s, and I used to get in a lot of fights, and, you know, kids like to punch you in the head, and that probably didn't help any. But I also have my mental issues, which, again, I'll talk about. I don't know why I'm pointing up, but eventually there will be a title here stating that I'm going to talk about my mental health. And, wow, my arm is twitching. Anyway, when I started getting older, I started backing off a little bit, even though, you know, I've broken this hand so many times. The last time I broke it was because I punched a steel door to dent it for $5. I won, I think. And I've done a few things. I lightened up. I had a couple of car accidents that weren't that bad, but I'm sure I probably knocked around the noggin. I had a really bad concussion when I worked at the car dealership, the first car dealership I worked at. We used to bring in the trucks twice a week, and we had this old fart that would drive the trucks. Well, when he'd pick up the cars at the auction, they would load the cars on for him, and then they would chain them down. If you see a car going down the freeway on a hauler, it's always chained down. It's cinched down so that it doesn't move during the shipping, so that you can't damage the car, it can't fall off. Well, this old guy wasn't strong enough to undo the chains. Well, he asked me, eventually got to the point where I was unloading them because he wasn't able to. But we were up there, and I was pulling down, and I couldn't get it all the way, and so I got him on the other side because a little bit of help helps. So he's pulling on one side, I'm pushing up from this side, and we finally get the chain undone. And him being old, he couldn't hold it, and I don't blame him for it, but he let go, and the bar came down and smashed the side of my head. And that was like one of my first real bad concussions, because it left a dent that's in my head to this day. Could have caused a subdermal hematoma, but it didn't, obviously. I'm still here, I think. Am I a ghost? Nope, still here. And that was like the first time I ever remember almost passing out from an injury like that. And since then, I've had a couple more. I fall downstairs a lot easier now than I used to, and I've hit my head a couple of times. I've passed out, obviously, a couple of times. And the last time that I got really hurt it was the middle of winter. I'm at the car dealership, just walking, hit a patch of black ice right into the back of a car with the side of my head, and that kind of knocked me for a loop. So yeah, I guess you could probably say that I have some brain damage, but don't we all? Don't they? Pretty sure they do. He doesn't agree with me. That's a little bit of a stretch. That doesn't actually happen. I don't see people. Although when I get this bad in terms of the headache, I do see images when I hear sounds, certain sounds, sharp sounds, sounds with a sharp report, like when I do that, I get a flash of light in my eye. I hear everything when my head is killing me, because you're hearing vascular pressure. I don't know if you've ever done this, but when I lay down with my eyes closed, I can hear my heartbeat through my eyes. Does that sound weird? It sounds weird. They're telling me it sounds weird. It's weird, but it is something that happens. I can hear myself blink, which is really bizarre. And it's more of a, you can hear it because like when you touching, you can hear. Try it. Close your eyes, rub your head for a few seconds, and you can hear it while you're doing it. But that's what happens when I blink when I'm in the middle of a headache, or when I close my eyes, or if I try to go to sleep. I can hear my heartbeat. I can hear my heartbeat through my jugular after I eat. So again, that could be a problem with the old brain pan, but it could also be the brain pan compensating or allowing sound in a lot clearer. Sound is not a trigger for me when it comes to my migraines, which is a bizarre symptom. Smells, very much so, and sight, light. I'm photophobic in this right eye. If it was bright out and I'm outside, my right eye is always closed. So I am left eye dominant because of that, which has led me to realize I'm a left-handed shooter. But yeah, I do have photophobia as well, which should be in the physical? I don't know, one of those. But anyways, just thought about that, so I thought I'd talk about it real quick. Yeah, we barely scratched the surface, we barely scratched the surface of what's wrong with me, and I would be happy to talk more about it if you want to hear about it. If you like these stories, let me know. Comment down below, let me know if you guys experience any of those. Seeing sights with sounds is typically called synesthesia. However, I don't have synesthesia. I think it's just the way my blood vessels are interpreting the sounds when I'm really tired. So let me know if you experience anything like that. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Obviously, as I said in the beginning, everybody's brain is a little bit different, so it all deals with trauma, pleasure, pain, memories differently. But I'd like to hear your stories. So go ahead and do that. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, you'll be seeing another video tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later. Thumbs up for me.